You were always mature for your age. Adults said it like it was a compliment. You're so responsible. You're so independent. You're not like other kids. And you learned very quickly that being easy to handle was the safest way to be loved. So you stopped being a child. Maybe you had to take care of siblings. Maybe you were the emotional support for a parent. Maybe you learned to stay quiet so no one would get overwhelmed. Or maybe nothing dramatic happened. You just understood that your feelings were inconvenient, that crying was too much, that needing help was weakness, that asking for attention made you difficult. So you adapted. You became calm, responsible, self-sufficient. But children aren't supposed to regulate the room. Children aren't supposed to carry adult stress. Children aren't supposed to raise themselves. But you did. When you grow up too fast, you become the stable one, the dependable one, the one who doesn't cause problems. You learned how to read the room, how to predict moods, how to adjust your personality depending on who was in front of you. You became emotionally intelligent because you had to be. But emotional intelligence built from survival feels tense, hyper-aware, always scanning, always prepared, always bracing. Now you're an adult, and people admire how capable you are. They say things like, "You always have it together. You're so strong. I don't know how you do it." But relaxing feels unnatural. Doing nothing feels wrong. Depending on someone feels risky. Because deep down, you learned this: if I don't hold everything together, everything falls apart. So you hold, and you hold, and you hold, until your body is tired, until your mind is exhausted. But you still don't stop. When you grow up too fast, you don't learn how to be taken care of. You learn how to take care of others. You become the strong friend, the stable partner, the responsible sibling. But who checks on you? Who notices when you're overwhelmed? You don't even know how to ask. Because asking feels foreign. Asking feels unsafe. Asking feels like burdening someone. And you promised yourself long ago that you would never be a burden. Rest feels earned, not allowed. You don't relax unless you've achieved enough. And even when you do rest, your mind doesn't. Because your nervous system grew up in alert mode. It learned that safety depends on awareness. So even in silence, you're scanning. Even in calm, you're bracing. Even in love, you're prepared to handle everything alone. You probably don't cry easily. Or maybe when you do, it feels overwhelming. Because you spent years pushing emotions down. Being the strong one means you don't get to fall apart. So you compartmentalized. You function. You succeed. You move forward. But sometimes you feel empty or disconnected, and you don't know why. There may be something else too. Anger. Not loud anger, not explosive anger, quiet anger. At the fact that you had to be strong when you were just a child. At the fact that no one noticed you were carrying too much. But even that anger feels dangerous. So you push it down. Because you've always been the mature one. Growing up too fast often follows you into adulthood. You choose people who need you. You overfunction. You fix. You manage. You anticipate. You carry. And when someone tries to take care of you, it feels uncomfortable. Because vulnerability was never modeled for you. Receiving feels harder than giving. Letting someone in feels riskier than doing it all yourself. Let's be clear. You are strong, you are capable, you are resilient. But your strength was built from necessity, not choice. And strength that forms in survival often hides unmet needs. Needs you never got to express. Needs you never got to receive. Needs that still live inside you. What if you don't have to be the strong one all the time? What if being cared for doesn't make you weak? What if rest is not irresponsibility? What if your independence is impressive, but connection is healing? What if safety is something you can learn now? You don't have to undo your strength. You just don't have to live inside survival anymore. You can learn to say, I'm tired. You can learn to say, I need help. You can learn to let someone show up for you without proving you deserve it first. That will feel uncomfortable. But discomfort doesn't mean danger. Sometimes it means your nervous system is learning something new. If you grew up too fast, it wasn't your fault. You adapted beautifully. You survived intelligently. You protected yourself the only way you knew how. But now, you don't have to survive. You get to live. And living includes softness. It includes rest. It includes being supported. It includes being human. You were strong when you had to be. Now, you're allowed to be held. And being human is more than enough.